Hello, welcome to Storytime with Miss Donna. We're going to be talking about Ruth tonight, but before we get into the beginning of her story, we need to backtrack a bit and talk about what was going on in Israel at that time. Judges ruled, famine was spreading throughout the nation. There wasn't enough room or food for anyone, which caused Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, to flee to Moab. They lived there quite comfortably for some time, and Mahlon and Chilion, say those names 5 times fast, married the two beautiful Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah. Unfortunately, the prosperity in Moab didn't last. Elimelech and his two sons, after they had about 10 years, unfortunately passed away. They died, leaving Naomi with a really tough decision. She was now the head of her household, and she couldn't care for her daughter-in-laws like they should be. See, women didn't have jobs back then, and it was very difficult to live without someone, a man specifically, helping to take care of you. Trusting God with her finances, she decided to move back to Bethlehem with her two daughter-in-laws. But on the way there, she asked them to return to their parents' home, saying that they would be happier and well taken care of by someone else in their family. Orpah was very distressed, but she agreed, hugged Naomi goodbye, and left to go live with her parents, hoping that she would find another husband to take care of her. Ruth, on the other hand, adamantly refused. She told Naomi, "I will go with you wherever you go. Your God will be my God. You're not getting rid of me, Mom." So Naomi was comforted by Ruth's faith in a God that she didn't even really know. They moved back to Bethlehem, and Ruth began working in a field of a man named Boaz. See, back then, because women couldn't hold traditional jobs, they would go into the field and pick up what was left after the farmers came and took the harvest up. It was a hard job and grueling work that no one wanted to do, but Ruth did it because she loved Naomi that much. She loved her enough to move to a new place, to work a hard job, and to be put in danger because not everyone was comfortable with foreigners. It just wasn't a good situation. But she still trusted the God of Naomi, our God, to take care of her. One day, Boaz noticed her in the field. He noticed how beautiful she was and how hard she was working. He went over and talked with her, and she told him her story, how her husband had died and they had moved from Moab back to Bethlehem. Now she was taking care of her mother Naomi. From that day on, Boaz encouraged her to stay and work in his fields and told everyone to leave her alone and just let her work. He even asked his workers to drop extra food just so that she and Naomi would be well taken care of. Now, why would Boaz, the stranger in Bethlehem to Ruth, go to all this trouble? Actually, when Ruth got home, she asked Naomi about it, and Naomi was very excited. She said that Boaz was a close friend of the family, what was called a guardian redeemer. He would take care of them if something bad were to happen, like a husband dying. Naomi encouraged Ruth to go and work for Boaz more and more, and in time they became really good friends. So much so that Boaz agreed to marry Ruth and take care of their family. See, even when things are going wrong, God has a plan. He moved Elimelech to Moab so that his son could marry Ruth. After tragedy struck and Elimelech died, and Mahlon and Chilion both died, and Orpah went home to her parents, God gave Ruth to Naomi, their friendship, their bond as mother and daughter-in-law, so that they could take care of each other when Naomi made the decision to move back to Bethlehem. It was a very difficult situation for both of them, but they still persevered in trusting God. And then God provided them with a demon named Boaz to take care of them when they needed him to. It's not necessarily that Ruth fell in love with Boaz and they had this wonderful love story, but that God took care of them. The love story is just the icing on the cake. The fact that he loved Naomi enough to bring Ruth into her life and loved Ruth enough to bring Boaz into hers, so that they could all live well and be provided for. The moral of the story, if there is one, that God takes care of his people. Just like last week I was talking about how God took care of Daniel when he was in the lion's den and he survived that frightening encounter. God took a Moabite woman, a foreigner in the land, and her mother-in-law, who were both sad and living a hard life, and provide for them by allowing them to meet Boaz, this wealthy farmer who was able to take care of them. No matter what you're going through, if we trust God and we trust that he's going to take care of us, he'll come through. That's all there is to it. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you next Tuesday. So long.